Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is such a special video. We are going to talk about two newest palettes. One is an eyeshadow palette and the other one is a blush palette from indie brands, which you know how much I love my indie brands. This is the Sugar Drizzle Bunny Love palette. It is their spring release. It is like an eye and a face palette all together. Definitely apt for spring. We are going to create 3 looks using that palette, and we are also going to use this Poppy and Fluff Cosmetics Blushing Poppies palette. Such a beautiful palette, isn't it? They have covered all the shades, I feel like, under the rainbow. I really loved playing with both of these palettes. Spoiler alert, I'm going to do 3 looks using this palette. This is the last look that you're going to see from me. But if you guys want to see all the swatches, the looks all in action, please keep on watching. Okay, let's begin our first look with the Bunny Love palette. I'm so excited for this, but I also feel like I would have to dip into one shade apart from this palette just for the deeper shade. But let's start off. I'm going to start off with this Meadow shade, and this Meadow shade is just going to go underneath my brow bone just to clean everything out. It's a perfect cleaning shade for me. Okay, I'm just gonna lay that underneath there, and then let's take this Burrow shade, this shade. It's pretty much like my, I would say, a transitioning shade for me. And I'm going to take that all across my crease. And I'm also going to take that on my lower lash line. That's a beautiful shade. It's blending very, very nicely. Now, because this shade that we are using is a lot more like blushy, and that's, I want that definitely, but I also want that hint of warmth on my inner part. So I am going to take this butternut shade, this one. It's a little bit like a golden but a satin shade, and yeah, like you will see a little bit of sheen coming through. And I'm going to take that right there in the inner part, like just so that light can reflect out of it. Now I am going to dip into a deeper shade, and I'm taking my Master Mattes palette, and let's dip into this shade, this one, right there in the outer corner. I definitely need some kind of a depth. I'm also going to take that same shade on the outer corner of the lower lash line, just right there. Now going back into the Bunny Love palette with that Burrow shade, the first crease shade that we applied, and I'm just melting the edges just so that there's no harsh lines and everything is blending seamlessly. Okay, I'm gonna take this shade, this purple shade, and then I'll finish it off with this shade. So let's take that Wildflower shade first, and I'm taking that mainly in the center of my eyelid, I would say. It's like definitely a traditional shimmer. It's not like a duochrome or a multichrome by any means. It definitely has like fine shimmer particles. Okay, now I'm taking that Bunny shade, which is that rose gold shade, and this shade, when I swatch, I could see a lot more different colored sparkles running throughout it. Like I can see blue, purple, pink. It's a very, very beautiful shade, but again, not a holochrome or a multichrome. I hope you can see that dimension coming through. Now, just for something special, I am going to take this Corn shade, the yellow, because we do have that satin running through the crease. I feel like this yellow will definitely pop. Just right there, okay? Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. Okay, the eyes are all done. Let's finish our face with the face shades that we have in the palette. I am going to take this Whiskers shade, this neutral tone pink shade, and this is such a beautiful shade, you guys. This definitely can be like my everyday shade, like everyday blush. Now you can see that blush coming through. Let's finish off with the Cottontail shade as a highlighter. I only had my bronzer up. And this is a pretty light highlighter, I would say. So go with a very light hand. It's definitely icy. Let me wipe off my brush and then start blending. It's not, I mean, it's glowy for sure, but it's not like glimmery or glittery by any means. I would say for me personally, that looks a little light, a little way too light, I would say. Like I feel like I will be able to see that white cast. So I'm just gonna take that blush brush that we use and I'm just gonna blend over it just so that I can blend away that stark whiteness and I just get that glow. And that's my first eye look. I really love the way how this turned out. Definitely a little different for Sugar Drizzle. I would say I'm well versed with Sugar Drizzle formula, but I feel like these shimmers are definitely more on the traditional side. It's not like duochromy, multichromy that we are used to. It's definitely more like mature eyes friendly, I would say. It's definitely doesn't pick up any texture or anything. It's very smooth on the skin, very effortless, I would say. So that's what I have the thoughts for the first eye look. Let's move on to the next eye look. Okay, let's begin our second look. I am first gonna finish off my cheeks and let's use the next blush that is here, this one. And this is Hippie Hop. And I'm gonna go with a light hand because this definitely has like a sheen on it and it picks up very nicely on the brush. I'm just gonna pat it and then go on top of the face. If you know me, you know that I love a good matte blush. I'm not a big sheen blush kind of a person, and the matte blush that is inside this palette will come in so handy. This is not bad at all. Like, look at that. It's not overly glowy, but definitely gives a sheen. I also came to know that this palette would be available for Ice Cream Beauty Box for April. So that will be amazing for you guys if you're interested in that box. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's so pretty. Love it. I am going to take the same highlighter that we used yesterday, this one. I'm going to go with a very light hand because yesterday we definitely overdid ourselves, I think. Because this is more of an icy highlighter, I'm going to go with a light hand. So pretty. Definitely icy, but gives such a fresh look to the face. Now for the eyes, I'm going to take this Whisker shade, which is the blush. And I'm going to take that as the crease shade for today. Or like a transitioning shade, I would say. Just want to see how much can we use the whole palette for the entire look. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Obviously, this is marketed as a blush, so you'll have to build it up. It will not perform like an eyeshadow. If you want an eyeshadow look, go with like this kind of shade. It is similar, but this has a little bit more brown to it. So I'm going to take that Barrow shade. That shade will come in super handy for sure. And I'm going to go in the crease just below that. Okay. Now I want to dip into a burgundy. So I'm just going to dip into some other palette for a burgundy shade for the outer corner. Just feel free to use anything. I'm just using Just a Taste palette. And I'm going to take this shade, Veins of Velvet, this one. I'm going to take that on the outer corner. And I'm going to melt it with that deeper shade, which is Nocturnal Kiss, this one, right there. Okay, going back into Barrow shade and just melting everything out. So now I have the depth that I'm looking for. And we can finish off our eye with some shimmers now. By the way, I am using this as a primer, the Sensory Rain primer. This has become so handy. I cannot even tell you. Like it's been amazing. I'm just taking it a very tad bit on the remainder of the eyelid. Now, for the shimmer, I'm going to take this shade, Rhubarb, this hot pink shade. And then I'll finish it off with this shade, which is Willow. So let's take Rhubarb. And Rhubarb, I'm just going to take it like as a melting shade with that deeper outer corner. Okay, right there. Just for a little bit of dimension. Now dipping into Willow, which is that peachy pink shade. I'm going to take that right there in the inner part and melting it with that hot pink shade. I would say you will see the shift in this shadow only if you apply it on the entire eyelid, because it's not sparkly, it's more traditional shimmer like, but you can see when you swatch it that shift coming through. But right now I feel like because it's applied only for to a smaller portion of the eyelid, it's not that visible to the eye. Definitely that hot pink shade, the Rhubarb shade, definitely has more sparkle in it. Dipping into that Rhubarb shade and just melting both the shades together. Now I'm taking that Cottontail shade, the highlighter shade, as my inner corner pop to the eye look. Okay, I'm going back into that Burrow shade on my lower lash line, and let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my second eye look. I really love the way how this turned out too. It's very everyday, it's very subtle. It's not glimmery shimmery by any means. It's very everyday friendly, that's what I would say. But it is also a very appropriate spring palette. I love the combination of peach and that hot pink that is applied on the eyes. Of course, the one thing that I'm missing in this palette, by now you guys know it's a deeper shade, because I definitely feel like a deeper burgundy or a deeper brown would have definitely been amazing in this palette. Now once you've seen the two looks, now let's move on to the final eye look. Okay, let's begin our next look with the blush palette. So today we are going to talk about the newest Poppy and Fluff Cosmetics Blushing Poppies palette. This is how the palette looks. And look at the 6 beautiful shades. It's a predominantly matte blush heavy palette, except this shade, which is called Luminous, which looks like more of a satin shade. So we're going to see how we're going to apply this, what shades are we going to apply this, but let me show you the swatches on the screen because they look absolutely beautiful. When I was looking at the pictures, I thought that this is more pink heavy, but I feel like when I see it in person, this is clearly like a baby pink. This is clearly like an orange blush. This is a peachy blush. This is more like a burgundy, like a reddish blush. This is a purple blush, and this is a hot pink blush. So I feel like the variety is definitely there. I am excited. I really want to do this shade along with this shade. Let's see how it rolls. I am very scared on the shade of the blush, Pink Me. Let's take that first, and I'm gonna take a very little bit and I'm gonna take that across the higher point of the cheek, because it definitely feels like a lot of variety of skin tones can use it. So you can see it, and I went like with a very fluffy brush with a light amount on my skin. And for a reference, I'm more of a medium tan skin tone, I would say. More medium, I would say right now. And it shows beautifully on the skin, and that shade is amazing. It's beautiful. I'm thinking of doing something purple, because I think that's the only shade that's left in the other palette. Now I so badly wanted to use that shade also, Whimsical. Let's take Whimsical actually. That looks so magical. Look at it picks up so much on the brush. That's such a beautiful shade. I'm gonna focus Whimsical more on the like apple of my cheek, and drape Pink Me more on the upper side. That is so pretty. I'm a big matte blush person, but I love that the inclusion of that luminous shade is also there. Should we use it is my question. I do not have any highlighter on, so I don't know how shimmery it's gonna be. Let's take luminous and see. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. It gives a glow for sure. Yeah, so I'm not gonna take any more highlighter apart from that. I feel like that just drapes my blush really well with a little bit of sheen. Oh, that's beautiful. So basically we use 3 shades in this palette. Pink Me, Whimsical, and Luminous. I love it. I love the way how they're blending with each other. That's beautiful. I'm just gonna take my brush and just melt everything together. That's beautiful. Did I go blush heavy? Yes, for sure. Can you see it? I'm not sure. Wait. Is this better? I increased my lighting, but you can see the blush placement and the blush shades. So pretty, right? I love it. Okay. Now, let's move on to the Bunny Love palette. And I definitely want to use the shade Thumb. That's going to be the main focus for today. I also want to take this shade Garden, this green. Let's start off with Garden. So I'm going to take the Garden shade and I'm going to place that in the inner part of the crease, building it little by little. By the way, both of these palettes were sent to me in PR if I've not mentioned it earlier. I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that I get with these brands. And they've been extremely supportive of me, my channel, which I highly appreciate. That's such a pretty color. For springtime, I really love the pastel tones. Can you hear the birds chirping? This is so loud. Okay, I'm gonna keep that right there. I am gonna dip into another palette for the purple because I want a little purple on the outer corner, but a little more deeper purple. I'm taking my Underland palette and I'm gonna dip into this shade, Cheshire's, this one. What is this? Cheshire's Curse. It's definitely a deeper purple. And I'm gonna take that right there in the outer corner. Okay, just right there. I'm keeping the center of my eyelid open, if you can see, and that's for a reason. I definitely want that shade, the purple shade, to be the star of the eye look today. I'm also taking that same Cheshire's shade on the outer corner of the lower lash line. And just to blend everything out, I'm gonna go back into the shade, the skin tone shade, which is Meadow. And that will come in super handy for blending the edges because it's pretty much like my skin tone shade. So just around the edge. Now I'm taking this shade, Viscous, the blush shade, and I'm taking that across the lower lash line. Okay. Taking this Cottontail shade in the inner corner. That's such a perfect inner corner shade. It's icy, it's like an icy pink shade. Love it. I'm going to take a little bit of the primer, the eye primer. Use whatever your heart desires. I'm focusing mainly on the center of my eyelid. Basically, I'm going to place it right here where I do not have anything. And I'm going to just overlap it a little bit over the green as well as the purple that we applied. You really need a very little bit with this primer. I'm using the Ensley Rain. It definitely helps with creasing and it makes the shimmers, especially the moon dust. If you have a lot of moon dust and if you're struggling with that, this primer definitely helps it. So once we have that, lock everything in place, I'm going to take that purple shade, which is Thumb, this one. It's like a pink to a purple shifting shade. I'm going to place that right there in the center of my eyelid and overlap it on top of the green as well as the purple. Once we have that, I'm just taking the outer corner brush and then just blending the edges of the shades. I'm gonna do the same thing for the green too. Just tapping it on top of it. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. All done, let's finish off our lips. I'm taking this L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Worth It Medium. Such a lovely springtime shade. And that is my final look. I really love the way how this turned out. This is like a apt spring look. I love the addition of that purple as well as that green coming together. Let's wrap up our thoughts on the Bunny Love palette. I feel like if you are not looking for extremely sparkly eyeshadows, if you're looking for like an everyday simple kind of looks for spring season, this palette is amazing, especially for traveling. I feel like, because it has 10 eyeshadows, it has 2 blushes, 1 matte and 1 luminous, as well as 1 highlighter, and of course you can apply anything on anywhere of your face. But I really love the way how everything turned out. Definitely my standout shade in this palette is this, although I felt like these shades are pretty similar in the pan, but on the eyes it definitely looks different. This is more like a burgundy, more purple leaning shade, and this is like a hot pink shade. Personally, I feel like you know it by now, with every I did dip into like a deeper shade. I would have loved if they would have given us 2 deeper shades here. I feel like we have a lot of lighter tone shades. This one, this one, this one, this one. This is the only crease shade I would say that I could use. Even this, I feel like these two make sense in a spring palette. I definitely could have avoided this and this, and or maybe one of this, because I feel like this is a pink, this is a pink, this is like a purple leaning pink. I definitely do not like this shade. This is more like a satin shade. It doesn't do anything on my skin tone because I am more of like that medium tan skin tone. But I would have loved if there was like a deeper eggplanty purple shade like that, or a deeper maroony shade. I would have loved, and I feel like that palette would have been complete. Is this my favorite Sugar Drizzle palette? No. Not by any means, but I'm excited to see Sugar Drizzle come back into business because I have loved their palettes so much. You know how much I use their palettes in my day-to-day life too. Even when I'm like ranking the palettes, if I'm like telling about like my favorite springtime palettes, you know Sugar Drizzle is in the mix because they've made some amazing palettes. So I definitely want to encourage Sugar Drizzle. I really hope that this is not the end. There are so much more to come and I am excited for it. Let's talk about the Blushing Poppies palette from Poppy and Fluff Cosmetics. I feel like this is a genius blush palette. I loved the shades that I put on my face. I feel like I cannot wait to just wear this like one shade at a time and make it shine. Today I did wear these 3 shades, but all of them, they look so lovely. So lovely. I cannot wait to wear nothing on my eyes and this to be the star of the show. I really, of course, you will see this palette come highly in rotation in my Get Ready With Me several videos of mine. But that's all for today. Do let me know, are you gonna purchase this palette or not? This palette would retail for $40. Yeah. This palette is going to retail for $40 and it is going live this Saturday. I think that is when I will upload this video because I'm in a little bit of time crunch, and this palette, I will leave all the details in the, I do have a thing here. This palette would launch on April the 5th, which is also a Saturday. So they both are launching at the same time. So that's apt. And this palette would retail for 18 pounds. So do keep that in mind. Saturday, 5th April at 6 p.m. UK time. Okay. I will put everything in the description box below for you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week. Every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.